Well, here's a nice radical equation, and this is actually take 2 of this video because I just did it and I found there's no solution. That's because there's a typo. This should say plus x. Okay, now we're ready. So in order to get rid of the radical, we will need to square both sides, but it's best to first isolate the square root before you square both sides. So we need to move the x over, so subtract x from both sides, and then we'll have the square root of 5x plus 3 equals a 2 minus x. And then we're going to square both sides. So on the left side, that's easy enough. The square and square root cancel each other out, so we get 5x plus 3 equals. And then on the left side, you could go 2 minus x times 2 minus x and use FOIL or the distributive property. You can also use the shortcut where you square the first thing, so 2 squared is 4. You then multiply these two things, which is negative 2x, and then you double that, so that'll be negative 4x. And then you square the negative x, which is going to be a positive x squared. And then we need to move everything to one side, so I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides and subtract 3 from both sides. So all of these are going to cancel, and it leaves us just 0 on the left side. And on the right side, I'm going to put it in order. The x squared will go first, and then there's minus 9x, and 4 minus 3 is a 1. Okay. Now for everybody's favorite, the quadratic formula. So we've got an a equals 1, a b equals negative 9, and a c equals 1. And then the quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus the square root. The b gets squared minus 4 times the a, which is 1, and the c, which is 1. And then that's all divided by 2 times a. So this is going to be negative 9 is positive 9, plus or minus the square root. Let's see, negative 9 squared means 81 minus 4. 81 minus 4 is 77. And then I don't know the square root of 77 in my head, so I need to use a calculator for that. So moving over to the calculator, we have parentheses 9 plus the square root of 77, and that whole thing gets divided by 2. So that is an 8.887, and then also do the same thing with minus in front of the square root, and then that is a 0.113. So we go back and say, all right, I got the answers. X equals, the smaller one was 0.113, and then the other one was x equals 8.887. Now the only thing is you do have to check the answer, because even though squaring both sides is perfectly legal, it can give you extra answers that are not actually part of the solution. So we need to take a look at the graph. So then I'm going to graph this and see, are both solutions possible? So go back to the graphing calculator and go with y equals, and then that was the square root of 5x, oops. Well, you know what? I need to go back to the page anyway because I forgot to write it down. Okay, now I'm ready. So go back to the calculator, and it's 5x plus 3 that's inside the radical. Then after that, after I fixed my typo, it was plus x, and then equals a 2. And then if you look at the graph, it looks like there's only one place where they intersect, and that would be right there. the 0.113. And if you go to where it's an 8 point something, well, that would be over here, and the red one and the blue one are not intersecting. So it was only the 0.113 that we keep as the answer. So go back and say, thank you for trying 8.887, but this is the winner.